Hi everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How you guys doing on this Monday? We're almost at the end of the month, a couple of more days, and then we're into May. It's going to really start getting hot. So I hope you guys are prepared. You know, the summer is just almost here. Start making your plans on where you want to go, what you want to do, and just enjoy your life, guys. Enjoy it. Make plans, make sure you're taking your vacation. If you have vacation time, don't skip over it and say, oh, I got to work, because I used to do that stuff all the time. Now I'm changing that for the better because when you work, and you don't take time off, you start to feel weighed down. Like the metaphor I use, the tons of bricks. So don't let that happen to you. Take the time. If you have vacation time, make some plans on where you want to go, what you want to see, what you want to do. And I think I'm going to do that as well. So, guys, it's a little hot for tea today, drinking water. This morning it was cooler, but it's warmer now. But I hope you guys are doing good. I hope all is well. And I had a chance to rest this weekend, which is a good thing. And I'm back on with you guys. Like I said, always subscribe to the channel because I could never tell you exactly what time I'm going to be here due to my schedule and responsibilities. So if you subscribe to the channel, you'll always get a notification as to when I'm on live, and invite others to do the same. We're here to uplift, guys, especially in these uncertain times that we live in. We need to uplift one another so that we can help each other take care of our mental health issues, especially with all these things that's taking place right now in this world. So, guys, with that being said, also keep in mind that I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker or a counselor. I'm someone who's just I went through an overwhelming amount of pain and grief and suffering. And guys, I haven't even gotten into the extensive of how bad it was. But to let you know that, you know, I overcame it, through the healing process, one day at a time, one step at a time. And if I can do it, you guys can do it too. It's not easy, but it's well worth it. So, again, with that being said, let's get into this topic of discussion today. The topic and the title is When God is Navigating Your Ship. It's a little bit different today, but it's all about healing. It all intertwines with healing our mental and physical health. And and I talk about these things because these are things that I've gone through and how I overcame it so that I can have inner peace, acquire that inner peace. Guys, you can do that as well. I have some notes here today because this is a long one. Um, when someone has done the work to heal, or if you are on the journey to doing the work to heal, um, and you pray and you make vows to God, and you keep those vows to God, God is behind the scenes removing every obstacle, every evil from your life so that you can stay on this path. Especially when you pray to Him and ask Him to help you get through this, like I did. I was down to the ground, less than zero, guys, back in 2020 for a while. Lost everything. Basically, when I say everything, all the people who loved me and meant something to me, including my mother, my dog, it just went on and on and on. And it was like a domino effect, and just it was a lot, guys, and I just couldn't make it alone. If it wasn't for God, I would never have overcame these things. But I reach out to God in faith and ask Him to help me. And then as He started to help me, I start to make vows, pay it back, pay it forward. And one of my vows is one of the reasons why I'm on this channel, and I'm consistent and persistent because it's a vow. It's one of the vows I made to God. And if you do decide to make vows, make sure they're vows you can keep. Don't make a vow that you know you can't keep. It's important to think about the vow and if you can keep them or not. And that's what I've done. One day at a time, one step at a time, guys. Nothing ventured is nothing gained. So God will protect, defend, and navigate on your behalf. You know, um, if individuals are coming towards you, because what happens sometimes when you go through these traumatic trials and tribulations and challenges, it changed your life forever, especially when you lose a lot of people who you love, and they're just like it's dying off like a domino effect. It changes your life, guys. And there's no going back to things that cause you pain and hurt. When it comes to that kind of pain, we can't save anyone, if they are going to pass away. It's painful, it's grief. We will always feel that void, but we can overcome the grief. We don't have to stay stuck in it. One of the things when I talk about pain, guys, I talk about pain from traumatic experiences as well. Like I had pain from those who are extremely toxic and cause toxic situations in my life. Um, People who premeditated toxicity and negativity towards me without a justifiable cause. That's one of the repetitive prayers that I have to God, is about injustices. Someone who just come towards you, you think these people are there in your life to uplift. And once the mask falls off, you see that these people are there. They want to premeditate some wickedness in your life because they don't like the growth. They don't like to see you heal, grow, evolve, and then turn around and help others. They don't want to see that. They want to drag you down like crabs in a barrel. Have you ever seen crabs in a barrel? And they just pull each other down all the way back down to the bottom. When people don't want to take the initiative to get on a path to heal, they want to, because some people like toxicity. They like that drama. They like all of that, craziness. And when let's say you never liked that stuff in the first place, but you were stuck there until you did the work to heal. And when you start to heal, you start to change your life. Things and events and trials and tribulations that happen will change your life one way or the other. In my life, I decided to heal, no matter how difficult it was. And people don't like that because they can't come towards me and use me like a doormat, try to deceive me with something, because um, like I said, life is about um, people, situations, and circumstances come into your life for a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And in my case, a lot of these was unlearned lessons. And once I learned them, I'm not going back to that toxicity in something. Like I said in prior videos, why would you return to people and circumstances that almost broke you down, where you couldn't almost get up again? What I decide to do is leave the toxicity where it is. In the beginning, I was setting boundaries, but they were disrespecting those boundaries, jumping over them. Girl, sit down, shut up kind of attitude, highly disrespecting, while I was in a place of healing. Now that I'm stronger, I'm still healing things. Um, I'm stronger. I just cut off, block, and delete, because there's no associating with people who don't respect your boundaries, because they don't value you. Know what's for your highest good. And if someone's in your life and you tell them that you're going through certain things and you need time to be over here in this space so that you can heal these things, and they don't understand that, or better yet, they don't respect that, then it's time to think about setting stronger boundaries. In my case, I just cut off, block, and delete, because I've gone through it too many times, and I don't want to learn the same lesson again. Once I learn it, I close that door and leave it where it is so that I can move on. God will expose this kind of stuff when a person is premeditating wickedness. And when I say premeditating, fabricating lies against you, vicious lies, just because you no longer have them in your life, because you decide to choose yourself over the toxicity and the drama. And they don't like that because now you can't be a doormat to them anymore. They can't be a leech in your life to take from you because you're not the same individual anymore because you've healed all those things. God will confuse, destroy the plan of the evil one who want to stop and block those who have made vows and are on a path to fulfilling those vows to God. And I don't play with God. When I make a vow, I keep that. It doesn't matter who's talking about it, etc., whatever. God has helped me change my life, guys. You know, Especially when I thought I wasn't going to make it. He lifted me up, dusted me off. And as I made the changes slowly, he continued to, behind the scene, navigate the ship. Like I said in the topic of discussion, navigate the ship because I felt like I was drowning. And there was no support system to say, hey, Lisa, I have your back. I'm here for you. Everybody was gone. They flee. It's like being, to me, I use a metaphor a lot of like being on a Titanic, and a Titanic is going down. There's only a few certain amount of lifeboats. And these people who have my back and etc., they are now on those lifeboats, waving at me, sorry, can't help you. And they go on about their merry way. And then they come back years later to see the aftermath. And now they see that I've grown, healed, evolved. They don't like it. So now they can't come back because the door has been closed. And now what they want to do is fabricate some lies, premeditate some drama and negativity. And I go into prayer and uplift that and give it to God. And then God handles that while I stay focused on my path and healing. Never let anyone or anything take you off this path. You may have some days where you're really busy and you can't do certain things, but always make time for yourself to take care of your mental and physical health. Because when you take that time for yourself, whether it's in music, play an instrument, take time out to pamper yourself. These things is part of healing, the healing process. Being in prayer, meditation, you know, do these things every day, even if you can't spend a whole lot of time because of your busy schedule. Always make time out for yourself. It's very important. That takes care of your physical and mental health. God will expose the plan of those who want to stop you from healing and growing. I have some notes here, like an outline. That's one thing I can't understand. Why would somebody want to stop somebody from healing and growing? Why would they want to see somebody in pain, hurting, suffering? And when I think about that, I think about that metaphor of crabs in a barrel. If you've seen a bunch of crabs in a bucket and they try to get out, and if one climb up, the other climb on top of it and drag it right back down to the bottom. And this is what it feels like when people who don't want to see you thrive, don't want to see you happy, don't want to see you smile, they don't want to see you at peace. And to me, this is wickedness to me because it means they want to see you broken down, busted, and disgusted and hurting. And so I had to make decisions when I noticed that is to just cut off, block, and delete. Because as I close those doors, I show God that I'm focused on this path and He opens up new doors, new people, new situations, better situations, because it's important for me and for you guys also to have people and things in your life that's for your highest good. If it's not for your highest good, then think about setting strong boundaries so that you can continue to be at a place of peace and healing. Because if you keep things in your life, people and circumstances and situations that have caused you so much pain that you feel almost broken, um, and if you don't set boundaries and you keep those in your life, then it's very difficult to heal when you have the pain of the person who caused that pain, and they continue to want to cause pain in your life. So sometimes it's better to set strong boundaries or either cut off. You know, trust God and ask Him to help you with this. I had to do this over and over again because it was difficult for me. And I had to change my perspective. And that's how I've been getting through a lot of things. You know, when I talk about lessons, I had to sit down really and cry out the pain, look at my life, look at where it was going, etc., and say, why are these things happening? And then I finally realized, because these are unlearned lessons. It's time to learn these lessons so these doors can get closed permanently, not opening those doors anymore. And when people figure that out, whether it's family members, whether it's exes or ex-friends, ex-business situations, whatever, they get bitter behind it. And what I remember is that these people are not on a path to heal. So, but I'm not the same Lisa Vaughn anymore, and I'm not going to tolerate what I tolerated before, because it's toxic. It's toxicity, and I've healed those things, and I'm not going to allow anything to distract me off this path. And I learned to trust God and know that as I keep moving forward, the God will take steps behind the scenes to help me. I take a step, He's behind me, taking 2, 3, and 4. And God will never give up on me. So I don't give up on myself. Guys, don't give up on yourself. Move forward. Move forward. You know, the noise will be loud at first and people will be saying whatever. However, it's like a mountain. As you climb it and get closer to the top, you don't even hear that noise anymore. So I tune that out. And also God sees every plan of any evil and hate that someone might want to bring to your table. Because I dealt with a lot of narcissistic individuals, and what they like to do, you could be long gone from their life, right? They like to drag you into drama and events, and you're nowhere on the scene. Just to have your name in their mouth to say A, B, C, and D, to drag you into something, because they can't get to you anymore because you've cut off, block, and delete. So they want, they may feel some kind of way about it. And what I do, I just go into prayer and ask God to handle that so that I can stay focused and on this path. It doesn't matter about what they're talking about, because the truth will always come out. Because when people start saying a lot of horrific things about you, saying you did A, B, C, D, E, and F, and G, it will show. If I was doing those things, it would be showing up in my life. My life would not be evolving. It would be, doing just the opposite. But you can tell the truth by looking at the person who's the parties who are telling these fabricated lies, and the person who's over here healing and not having any connection with these individuals. You will see the truth. you know um when God sees things like this, I allow Him to take care of it, ask Him to take care of it so I can stay focused. um this is my experience with God. Every time I do that and I take steps, He's taking 2 and 3. He's opening new doors on my behalf as I continue to do the work. And it's not easy, guys. And especially in my case, when I don't have a physical support system, just myself, God, and just moving forward, because I have those up days and then I have those days of grief. Like I said, my mom is not here anymore. My dog, one of my good friends, and and it goes on and on and on. And the people who really meant something to me are no longer here. So I'm asking God the toxicity to keep closing those doors as I move over here, and He opens new doors, better situation. And people start making a pro and con list. If you feel someone's bringing you too much toxicity, sit down during your me time and do a pro and con list. If the cons outweigh the pros, then think about setting strong boundaries. And if someone doesn't want to see you heal, think about setting strong boundaries. Never let anyone stop you off your path to healing, because Your mental, without your mental and physical health, you can't do anything for yourself or anybody else or anything around you. Time and time again, when I go to God and ask Him to help me and I'm moving forward, He's always taking care of these negative situations for me, always, and I'm grateful for that. Show gratitude, humility, stay in prayer too. Prayer doesn't mean you got to be religious or this or that. Talk to God like you would your father if he was here, and say, God, help me with this. I can't do it by myself. And I promise you, He will help you if your intentions are pure and you are moving forward. He will always have your back. Um, One of the things I've learned on this journey so far when it comes to toxic individuals that were in my life, they felt entitled to the things that I build from the ground up. They're nowhere around when I started working on my books, being on this channel and just keep moving forward. What people don't understand is that I worked a lot because it was therapeutic. It helped me with those triggered grief moments that I had really, really bad for about 2 years when my mom died. And I just kept working and working and working. And when somebody feel like they're entitled to take something that that is all of my hard work, they have to be insane, and that they never put in the work for, but they feel entitled to me and what I have. And this is how you know that these people have some mental health issues that need to be dealt with. How are you entitled to something that somebody else had and you never put in the work for it? But some people don't want to work. They want to be a leech and take from others, and they want it quick like a microwave. But things like that never laugh. Please make it make sense, guys, because it doesn't. This is why it's so important to do the work to heal. um, like I said, and as you do the work, it helped me to change my mindset to see that I am worth it. And I don't deserve to have toxic individuals around me who are not bringing anything positive to my table as I bring to them. Know what's for your highest good, guys. Only an unhealed person who has broken ways will believe that they are entitled to something that belongs to someone else that has nothing to do with them because they're not on the path to heal. They do not want to put in the work, or, they figured the best way to do this is to, try to take something from somebody. But it's never going to go that way. God is always going to flip the script. Um, they want it quick like a microwave. But nothing ventured, guys, is nothing gained. What you manifest for others on a negative, on a toxic level, and and that person's never done anything to you, and it's not for the highest good, the universe is always gonna return that back to somebody because it's unjustifiable. It's without a justifiable cause, because you don't like somebody. And if you don't like someone, because not all of us is going to like everybody that we come in contact with. Just because you don't like someone, it doesn't give you the right to try to spread malicious lies, try to bring hell and negativity to their life, try to set them up for failure without a justifiable cause just because you don't like them. You don't like the way they speak. You don't like the way they look. You don't like this, that. And it's just the hate train. Too many people are on that train, riding that train, and nothing good will come from that. Love is always the answer. And the best course of action, if you don't like someone, is to stay away from them instead of trying to bring negativity to their table, because God is always going to flip the script, especially those who put Him first. It doesn't matter what people are talking about. you know this is why. And protect your peace, guys. Protect your peace. And if someone's coming with drama, because you don't have to do anything, sometimes people like drama. There's drama starters. you know Protect your peace, set boundaries, and keep moving forward. You're going to have days where you don't feel like doing anything. That's okay. We're human. But get up the next day and keep moving forward. And sometimes people are not meant to stay in our life. I say that a lot in my prior videos. They're only there for lessons. Some people are in our life for a lifetime, a reason, a season, a lifetime, or a lesson. And if the door closes to certain individuals and they want to leave, let them. Let them. Because not everybody is meant to stay in our life. We are supposed to learn specific lessons. After we learn them, then those doors get closed and we can move over here to something better that God has, a better door, a bigger door with better blessings and things behind that door as we continue to progress and do the work. Keep these things in mind. When you start looking at these things from a different perspective, you start to understand and you start to see these things for what they are. It's just like having a bunch of pieces of a puzzle, right? You have pieces to a puzzle, and you don't know what the picture is until you start putting, let's say, 1,000 pieces there. Until you put the whole picture together, then you can see it for what it truly is. Oh, this is a bear lying under the tree, you know, eating some honey or something. You start to see what it is. That's how it is with these lessons. As you start to go through these things and see them, change your mindset on how you respond to things. And then as you do that slowly but surely, you start to see these things for what they are. That's why I say if people want to leave, let them, because sometimes they're not meant to stay. Guys, let's keep moving forward, and helping one another. Know that we can turn what I did, and what you guys can do is I turn that pain into power, power into purpose, purpose into paying it forward to help other people. That's how we win. That's how we succeed, helping others so that they can heal their mental and physical, heal their health, so that they can heal their mental and physical health. That is the message today, guys. Share this video with other people. Subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to uplift people so that they can do the work to heal and move forward and be at a place of inner peace. Thank you for being here today, guys. I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you again, and have a great day, guys. Bye for now.